Hello, my noble band of outlaws. Outlaw Samurai coming at you live with a video.
With Samurai Geekapedea.
Alright, so the topic of today's video is going to be a bit of a controversial one with the FNAF community.
Yeah. It's based on Five Nights at Freddy's.
And it's basically how I would kill... Oh, William boy.
William Afton. The purple guy. The man behind the slaughter.
Exactly. And for those of you who didn't know, I purposely did a Pegasus reference from the old Yu-Gi-Oh show. So basically, there's 2 points from what Geekapedea has enlightened me on. There's really only 2 ways to kill him completely, and that is either before he gets in the suit and track him down, or after he gets into the suit. You have to use a lot more complicated methods.
Yeah. There, I'll start out with the brief rundown of who William is. Then I'll tell you, like, all the logistics when it comes to, like, him in the suit, him not in the suit. Yeah. So if you don't know,
I've already been given this whole, like, 3-hour spiel. He's going to condense it down.
Yeah. So, the condensed version is William Afton in the FNAF universe was the co-founder of Fazbear Entertainment, the co-creator of Freddy Fazbear's, all of that, and he's also a serial killer who is responsible for pretty much every single horrible thing that's happened in the universe. Most notably, the missing children's incident when, while wearing the Spring Bonnie suit, he murdered 5 kids and stuffed their bodies inside the animatronic suits, which caused them to possess the robot bodies. William, he originally died while wearing the suit due to its internal spring lock mechanisms, which the spring locks are pretty much just the things that are keeping the robot parts at bay while an ordinary human can wear the suit. Well, they got triggered, and he basically got crushed head to toe, drowned in his own blood. It was a very agonizing death. But he didn't die. His soul possessed the suit to where he became Springtrap. And to that point, he was pretty much a walking corpse in that way, but heck of a lot powerful.
So, the way he has explained it, it's very similar to Jason Voorhees. He's what's known as a reverent undead.
Mm-hmm.
Not like your standard brainless undead like a zombie or like a supernatural undead like a vampire. A reverent undead is much more attuned to like a creature created through necromancy.
Mm-hmm.
It is an undead, but with all the emotions and knowledge of its previous life intact.
Yes, that's exactly how William is. And a big thing about William, a lot of the reason why he, not only him, but his victims who possessed the animatronics, a big reason why they're there is because of an element called Remnant. Remnant is pretty much what was left behind from the pain that they felt in their last moments.
Kind of like the traditional unfinished business that most ghost stories usually revolve around.
Which, the only thing about that, it seems to work weird for William, because it's not just a manifestation of his anger. It is fully William that came back to possess the Spring Bonnie suit.
Well, if you would put that on, like...
I didn't think of that, yeah.
Yeah, the super on this is actually pretty nice, so I was like, it's a way to, like, show it off.
Yeah.
But, so, the way I would basically fight William is 2 ways. Springtrap suit, I would actually hunt William down. Now, here's the thing. William may be able to change his voice and everything, but he does not have access to the kind of surgical technology one would need to completely change their outlook.
Mm-hmm. Well, to be fair, William Afton, he has proven himself to be intelligent when it comes to coming up with contingency plans. So while I do agree with you, he probably wouldn't have that in the moment. I wouldn't put it past him to get that eventually.
Yeah, but that would be later on. Basically, the only really way to kill him before he gets to the suit, because as Geekapedea hammered home to me over and over again, once he's in the suit, he's pretty much invincible unless the spring traps actually spring.
Yeah, which depending on continuity, they kind of go back and forth on how exactly you can activate them. In the original games, they were very, very like touchy. Like
Yeah.
you could move your arm wrong and they would go off. But the main thing was you couldn't get them wet. So what initially caused it, he was in like a back room of the restaurant, which had pretty much been neglected by the cleaning staff, and it was very wet and very damp. So the suit was already pretty wet when he put it on. And in the books, which in my opinion, in the novel trilogy, is my personal favorite explanation of the spring locks, because there's a button in the back of like the mask of the suit that when you press that, they go off. In the movie, it's kind of a mix between both, where they're not as touchy as the games, but they can still be activated pretty easily.
Okay, that's something he did not tell me prior. He was just really going off on the whole invincible suit thing.
Yeah, once he puts the suit on, he's nuts. And knowing William, like, if you're going into a battle with William Afton, the thing is you have to immediately assume that he'll have the suit on.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't have the suit on, you have to prepare assuming he has it.
And I've already come up with multiple contingencies. Just like the one I came up now. If I'm doing a battle with him and the suit must remain dry, like if I notice him immediately shirk away from some sort of water source, I'm going to immediately beeline for any kind of liquid and throw it on him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this actually backfires on me because of the whole becoming the Reverend Undead once the spring traps activate.
Yes, but the timing for that has been very iffy. We don't know about the movie version of it yet because, spoiler alert, the movie ended with him getting spring locked. But in the books, it took him a year. In the games, it took him 30 years. So at the very least, you'd have a day between his death to return.
Yeah. So, like I said in my Jason Voorhees videos, pretty much after I had killed Afton, whether he be Springlock or he be human, I would be dissecting his ass.
Mm-hmm.
I'd cut off his arms, his legs, his torso, and his head, and I'd bury them as far away from each other as they possibly could. So even if he did become Springtrap during those time periods, there'd be no way he could come back unless he could dig his way out of a solid encased. Unless those bionic arms can make their way out of a 3-foot thick solid concrete slab under 6 feet of dirt.
Mm-hmm. I would say either that or the best scenario, after you cut them up, you go to completely different locations and individually burn each piece of his body to ensure that all of him is gone, but even if some part of him survives, it wouldn't be enough to put himself back together.
Now, there's something that I could hear, like, but Outlaw, you did mention the animatronics. They protect Springtrap. See, I did pay attention to the conversation.
To be fair, that's just in the movies.
Yeah.
Because in the movie, it's explained that he's manipulating them into killing for him. He manipulates them by wearing the suit to convince them that he's their friend. That's how he lured them in all the continuities to kill them in the first place. He wore the suit to befriend them. Yeah. Which, by the way, I should probably say now is I can hear the entire FNAF community like going after us. I know that is the glitch trap variation. A lot of the theories now are saying, oh, glitch trap isn't William Afton, he's the mimic. We know, okay? We're just using this as a representation.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Okay, so the current villain of the franchise is called the Mimic. And the basic theory...
Yeah, that whole AI thing.
Yeah. The basic theory is the glitch trap is not literally William Afton. It's the AI that's running the restaurant. It's copying his actions.
Yeah. But I could, like... I thought you said that was the same in, like, the video games and the novels as well, that the animatronics protect Snaptrap.
So, not necessarily. In the games, it's been ambiguous. We don't necessarily know. But we do know in the games, they don't remember who killed them. So it's possible that it's something similar to the books. Because before the movie, the books gave us the most definitive answer. They don't necessarily protect him, but he's able to blend in with them by wearing the suit, so they think he's another animatronic.
Yeah.
It's not really till the movies where they go with the plot line that, oh, he's manipulating them by wearing the suit and making them think that he's their friend.
Because in our original discussion, because after he becomes Snaptrap, he becomes extremely powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And in our original discussion, he kept trying to bring up the whole, I'd have to get through the other animatronics first.
Mm-hmm. That's just assuming if we're fighting the movie Afton.
I was just going to fight the main Afton.
Yeah. That's the thing. With the games, there's still a lot we don't know about Afton.
Right. But,
like, I kid you not, like a couple months ago, we just learned that he's basically Scarecrow from the Batman comics.
Alright. So, with that information in mind, we're going to reboot back to the movie version where I would have to confront the other animatronics. And simply put, while Geekapedea knows that I'm not a religious person by most means, I guess I should say I'm not opposed to a higher power. It's just that the history of Geekapedia's religion kind of makes me question.
Yeah, Christianity.
Yeah.
And even I will admit, as a Christian myself, Christianity has had a very, very shady history. I like the quote, I've got no problem with God, it's his believers that I got the problem with.
Pretty much. Now, that out of the way, a little caveat, what I would actually do in that situation was I would actually use holy weapons against them. And I don't mean like weapons bestowed to me directly from God. I mean weapons that have been blessed with holy power. And that could be from Buddhism, Shintoism, Taoism, Christianity. Any weapon that you have that has been blessed by an actual ornated deity thus becomes holy.
Mm. And to be fair, I think out of all those, the most likely one to work would be to be blessed through a Christian way, because from what we've seen through all the FNAF universes, a lot of how the afterlife is described, it aligns a lot with Christianity.
Yeah.
And especially at the end of FNAF Ultimate Custom Night, which is implied, the whole thing is about William stuck in purgatory, forced to relive the horrors that he put others through.
Yeah.
So that definitely would align more with like Christianity, Catholicism.
Yeah, so what I would actually do is I would go to the biggest church in the entirety of Maine, was it?
I think.
Yeah. So I would go to the biggest church within that area, because more often than not, the biggest church in the area has the highest ordained minister.
Mm-hmm.
So if I could find, like, what would be the highest form of preacher in the Christian faith, aside from the Pope, that I could readily find in the U.S.?
To be honest, I think any priest, like the top priest of a church.
Alright, so I would immediately go to that church, I would talk to the priest, and upon hearing me, more than likely he'd either consider me a crazy-ass rambling fool, or he'd humor me and bless the weapons anyways.
And knowing William Afton and how we would describe this guy who we're about to fight, it'd probably be a mix of both.
Yeah. So the priest would then bless all the weapons. I would, of course, ask for large amounts of holy water to A, torture him, and B, trigger those spring traps again.
Mm-hmm.
But what I would do is I would also learn exorcism.
Yes.
Which is a very important thing. Because in some circumstances you can only exorcise one soul at a time, but if you draw what is known as an exorcism circle or an exorcism seal, you can exorcise a lot of souls at once. So what I would do is I would actually make an exorcism seal outside of the store itself, the Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria. And I would actually perform the ritual to basically get all the animatronics out of my way, except for Springtrap, because I think, unlike with Springtrap, I don't think a Reverend Undead can be so easily killed with, defeated with just mere exorcism.
No, and I was just about to say that. That might work for the animatronics, because they are possessing the suits, but it might not work for Afton himself because it's not necessarily a possession. It's more of a he switched bodies, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because his soul now technically the Springtrap suit and his body merged into one the moment it killed and his body rotted away into the fibers of the suit.
Mm-hmm.
So once I had gotten all the animatronics out of my way with the exorcism, that's when I would have to fight Afton.
Mm.
And with Afton, I would actually be using... honestly, you may think this is blasphemy of me, my noble outlaws, but I wouldn't actually be using a sword.
Wow, really?
Yes, simply because I know in real life that a sword will not cut through steel.
No. And overall, the material to make the suits has been very, consistent throughout the continuities, and they are very hard to cut. Especially the Spring Bonnie suit that Afton would be wearing.
So what I would actually be using instead would be high-powered hand guns, such as a Blessed 500 Magnum Smith & Wesson with, and I'm probably going to get flack for this, but a cop killer round.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you who don't know what a cop killer round is, it is a solid lead bullet with a tungsten rod in the middle, so that when the bullet hits the Kevlar, the tungsten rod goes straight through the Kevlar into the body and plays pinball with the organs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would that work as well with him? Probably not, but better safe than sorry. And I would also be using, like I said, solid lead rounds that could punch through that suit.
Mm-hmm. And to be fair, there are a few weak spots on the Spring Bonnie suit. That's between, his neck and his shoulders. But they're very small between, the connection between the arm of the suit and the body of the suit, to where I'm not sure if that would do much.
You see, it's not so much in the classic sense of what a gun will do. It's more of the fact that I'm hitting him with guns powerful enough to rip his suit to pieces.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to literally blast him apart.
Yeah.
I'd also try to get my hands on some grenades.
Yeah, that would help, to be fair.
Now, here's the thing about blessing a weapon. It's that if the weapon is a projectile weapon, meaning that it fires a projectile, be it a bow and arrow, be it a gun, be it a slingshot, all you have to do is bless the firing mechanism itself. So with the bow, all you have to do is bless the bow. With a gun, all you have to do is bless the gun. And anything fired from that weapon, be it the bullet or the arrow, will then receive the blessing from the weapon itself.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps out a lot because you don't have to worry about blessing every single bullet and round and getting water into the mechanics, because I'm assuming most blessings have that little baby rattle water shaker thing.
I think. I'm gonna be honest with you. My sect of Christianity doesn't do a lot of that, so I'm not as well versed in that. But all I've seen from movies and TV shows, that's been more involved with Catholic priests that do that.
So, and I assume the branch of Christianity wouldn't really necessarily affect the blessing of
I don't think it would.
Yeah, because it's still Christian overall. It's just different sects of the same religion.
Yeah.
So that's how I'd actually defeat William Afton in and out of the Springtrap suit.
Mm-hmm.
Now you may be wondering, Outlaw, you have to find William Afton first. It's trust me, if William Afton makes me my enemy, he better get away from me the first time.
Yeah. And probably the only way he could escape from you if he got himself into a rocket and went to space.
Well, maybe not. I mean, real world me, but more than likely, here's the thing. If you make me mad enough, you won't have a chance to run away from me because I'll just cut you down where you stand.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm facing the real William Afton and he pisses me off enough and I have a sword in my hand, Five Nights at Freddy's going to end there.
Yeah.
Right? That's a very hypothetical scenario, of course.
Yeah.
But still, if it were to come to pass...
Mm-hmm. And as hard as it may be, the easiest way for you to kill Afton would be to track him down and catch him by surprise.
I was like, because especially if I team up with the protagonist of the show.
Yeah, Michael Afton, his son.
Because, let's face it, if I was sucked into the Five Nights at Freddy's universe, and I consciously knew, I would immediately go to Michael and tell him everything that I know.
Mm-hmm.
So that Afton may never have gotten into the Springtrap suit to begin with.
That might be hard to do. Well, it might be mixed, because we do know that William was at least emotionally abusive to Michael. So Michael might believe you that his dad is a bad guy, but I don't think he would believe you that his dad is like an undead serial killer. So I honestly don't think there would be a lot to do to prevent him from getting in the suit other than tracking him down and just killing him.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would tell... What was the son again?
Michael.
I would tell Michael about who his father really is. And of course I would bring evidence from the real world with me, which in this case would actually be footage from the video games and the movie itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I would show him what his father did, and we would actually track him down before he ever got into the suit.
Mm-hmm. And Michael would know where his dad's at. He definitely would. Because, like I said, he grew up with his dad. They lived in the same house together, of course. And
Michael would probably be my best and really only option for tracking William down if I didn't meet William first off. Because me coming from the real world, I'd already know what William's face looks like.
Well, not necessarily. We don't know what he really looks like in the games. Other than the Springtrap suit, of course.
Well, I was assuming like the movie.
Yeah. Well, it's been implied that his novel appearance is how he looks in the games. And in the novels, he's pretty much his movie appearance, just without the beard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And black hair.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I think black hair. I can't remember.
We'll just say black hair for now.
No, brown hair. It's brown hair. I remember now.
Brown hair. So, that's what I'm saying. I would just immediately go to track down him before he ever got into his suit.
Mm-hmm. And once you kill him without the suit, as far as I know, he has no way of coming back.
Exactly, because as far as we know, like, the only reason he came back was because of the fact that he died in the Springtrap suit. Mm-hmm. And I believe since resonance is used in the making of the suit, correct?
I believe so.
So that's the reason why he came back in the first place, is because of the resonance in the suit.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. The remnant wasn't already there. It was the remnant that came from the sorrow of the dead kids that pretty much bound their souls to the suits. And the same thing kind of happened to William. It was a mix between the remnant, his anger, and pretty much his sheer will to live. Like, he pretty much forced himself to not die.
Well, if that's the case, then I could actually see, instead of him becoming a reverent undead, it would be a similar situation to the rest of the animatronics, where instead his soul would actually possess, instead of the Springtrap bodysuit becoming his new body, it would be more of a possession, like I said before, and then all we'd have to do is, like I said, exorcism.
Yeah. But here lies the problem. We gotta keep him down to do the exorcism. Because knowing William, he doesn't like to stay still.
Well, let's say, remember how you said that the Springtraps would crushed his body?
Mm.
I feel like if all the Springtraps were suddenly triggered by a massive bucket of water being thrown at him, that the Springtraps would crush the suit itself.
No, they wouldn't. Because even as Springtrap, they're already activated. So you can't, like, reactivate them anymore.
No, like, since he never got in the suit, they never would have been activated in the first place.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant after he became Springtrap.
No, I'm saying, like, if he never got into the suit, they'd never be activated in the first place. And if all those just suddenly went off like that, all that pressure from all those simultaneous latches going off would temporarily crush the suit itself.
Mm-hmm. Well, wait, that's what happened. That's how in the games he died and became Springtrap. They all went off simultaneously.
That's what I'm saying. The soul would possess the suit itself.
Okay.
Then once he got back up and tried to come after me, I'd put a salt circle around the suit because salt is a thing that repels spirits.
Mm-hmm. Is it like a special kind of salt, or is it literally any salt?
I think it's any kind of salt, but to be safe, I'd use kosher salt,
yeah.
which is blessed by a rabbi.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing. I would also, to avoid having to do Christian shit, I would go to a Jew rabbi.
Yeah.
Because my great grandmother's an honorary Jew.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh, that's fine. They snap on together.
Okay, good. I was like, did I just snap? There's humor in this.
He's Scrap Trap. That's his version after he survived the first burning of the building. But he lost his arm, but he used his bone as like a blade.
Nice. But in any case, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would, as soon as William's soul entered the untriggered Snaptrap body, Springtrap body, I'd have Michael off behind him with a bucket of water to throw on him because I assume Michael would know the whole mechanics of the suit.
Yes and no. He probably wouldn't know the full extent of it until like you and I explained it to him, because please forgive me, I know you're all gonna give me crap for this, but I use a lot of the game theory MatPat videos because it's explained all that. By the way, Outlaw Samurai,
Yeah.
If you want to know the full story, go to his channel.
I was gonna say, you told me that.
But they were pretty much distant after Michael's brother, the crying child, died. And it's implied that William hated Michael for that, because in a way Michael kind of caused the death of his younger brother, but it was still an accident.
But I would assume that since Springtrap was around for so long prior, that Michael would at least know the basics of how the suit worked, and
oh yeah, he would.
And he would know about at least the Springtraps and what would trigger them off.
Even if it was like as simple as William saying, "Don't touch that, or it'll hurt you."
Yeah, he's seen like the suit, like one of the Snaptraps get off because it got wet, and he's like, what happened is Dad's like, if that suit gets wet, the safety measures break.
Mm-hmm.
So I would throw the water onto him, causing all the traps to go off simultaneously. And here's the thing, like you said, I'd have some time before he rebonded.
Mm-hmm. At the very least a day.
Yeah, the circle of salt would be one thing, and then I would actually do in paint the actual exorcist circle.
Mm-hmm.
So that when he woke up, even if the salt got washed away, all I'd have to do is bam, bam, start the exorcist process, and Five Nights at Freddy's pretty much ended.
Yeah, and he ain't coming back this time.
Yep.
Like that's William's catchphrase.
Yeah.
I always come back.
Not when I'm involved, motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's like you never had the opportunity to get back.
Yeah.
Get back to the diner, Samurai Snaptrap. But in any case, I say Snaptrap because I actually think of like the character from Dudley Puppy.
Oh yeah.
In this, but like Springtrap and Snaptrap just interchange in my head.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty much how we would deal with the Five Nights at Freddy's, and pretty much I think we just explained how to completely prevent everything from happening.
Yeah. And to be fair, honestly, the easiest part of this plan would be to fight the animatronics. Because the creator of FNAF, Scott Cawthon, has constantly said at the end of the day, there's still kids in there. So even if, like, we, for whatever reason, we weren't able to exorcise them, like, we could find a way to befriend them. And we could convince them that William is not their friend. He's the guy that killed them. It's just when it comes to William is where all the planning and the chaos comes in.
The animatronics, at the end of the day, are the easiest to overcome. They're the easiest to beat. They're the easiest to just kind of say, you're scrubbed here, kids.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't on this level.
Mm-hmm. Well, Okay, the only one that might be powerful enough is Cassidy, the ghost that haunts Golden Freddy, aka Fredbear.
Yeah.
Because Cassidy is the one that's trapping William in purgatory.
I'll say, if that's the case, I feel like Cassie would actually be on our side.
That's debatable. That really depends on the version. In the movie version, definitely not, because Cassidy he still wanted to kill William, but he was going to kill Mike's sister to do it. So he would be against you for his own goals. In the games, it's debatable.
Yeah. And then it's like, if that's the case, then him I would actually... If that's the case, I could see him actually leaving the pizzeria to try to interfere with me. And if that's the case, I'm sorry, I'd just drop a grenade down his suit and call it a day.
That'd be impossible. Golden Freddy's a completely supernatural entity. He has the power to appear, disappear, pretty much like your average poltergeist.
So he's not a physical body.
He kind of is. Like, he started out as a physical animatronic, the Fredbear animatronic.
Yeah.
Which was the other Springlock suit that William made alongside the Spring Bonnie suit. But I guess, like, the agony and remnant through Cassidy was so powerful that it allowed them to take full control. Which, by the way, I'm not using official pronouns because Cassidy's gender keeps changing. In the games, she's a girl. In the movie, he's a boy. So
yeah.
I don't want to cause that confusion. But you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. There's just a lot of inconsistencies in the Five Nights at Freddy's, but we're using a we're mainly using the movie storyline because it's the most slimmed down and
the movie, as of right now, the movie makes the most sense.
Yeah, it's the most slimmed down and easy to keep track of.
Mm-hmm. Which I heard a rumor that Scott Cawthon, he did that on purpose because he's viewing the films as a way to clean up the timeline and make it make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Because even he's like, okay, I complicated this more than it needed to be.
Yeah, that's the thing when you create a franchise that's lasted, 20 years?
Actually, 10 years this year.
Okay, so I added a little more time than
No,
what I
that's
thought.
fine. It feels like 20 years.
Yeah. So, when you create a franchise that's lasting for 10 years, you keep having to add shit to it, like with the Marvel. Marvel started out strong, and now it's just kind of fucked all to hell.
Yeah.
But then lies the thing. It's like if I'm just gonna say GF. If Golden Freddy, let's not even just fucking mix up the genders. It's just Golden Freddy.
Yeah, we'll just say Golden Freddy and get a Cassidy.
Yeah. So if Golden Freddy is a entity that can travel in and out of the physical plane, then obviously, because it would work the same way if I could just trick him into getting into a salt circle, and then all you have to do is just, with salt circles, all you have to do is just break them a little bit and everything goes to hell. As long as that salt circle stays in place, generally speaking, whatever spirit or entity you've trapped inside cannot get out.
Mm-hmm. Which, that might also be the downfall, because if Golden Freddy knows that, Golden Freddy, out of all the animatronics, other than maybe William himself, would have the power to quickly move out of it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, I would make the salt circle and, here's the thing, I would make the salt circle appear as part of the exorcist circle.
Mm-hmm.
So that Golden Freddy would see me make this salt circle, and he's probably thinking that's, like, what he has to stand in to protect himself or something.
Mm-hmm.
So he would immediately get in. Well, I could get out, even if the salt circle was complete. And then I just dump a shit ton of salt right at the little exit I made, and as I jumped out.
Yeah.
Trapping Golden Freddy inside. Now, you're probably wondering, well, Outlaw, how fast is he? I'm going to roughly base my assumption that he can at least move as fast as a 30 mile per hour.
I want to say, if it's just the suit, then he moves like a regular suit.
Yeah.
But when he's possessed by Cassidy, it's kind of more like when William possessed the Springtrap suit.
So like,
except slightly more powerful, because like I said, he basically becomes a poltergeist.
yeah, but I feel like he would. I really feel like Golden Freddy wouldn't really, since he is a child, he would have a much more simplistic plan of just popping up next to me.
He kind of does that, yeah, in the games. Like, honestly, the movie Golden Freddy might be, in my opinion, might be the most intellectual. Because it was revealed that the whole movie was like Cassidy's plan to get William to die.
So with that in mind, we're just going to assume that he would have just come straight at me. And in his physical form, I feel like I would be faster than the animatronic in the physical form.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as I feel him like behind me, in the time it would take him to move his arm to kind of entrap me, I could jump out and complete the salt circle.
Mm-hmm. That might work, yeah. But you'd have to be very quick in it. At least with the other animatronics, you have time. But, I thought you were going to slap me.
No. I showed you how fast I can move.
Oh. I'm just saying, there is no set speed that we know Golden Freddy can go.
Yeah. Well, since none of the animatronics have done shit like Superman, I'm not expecting them to be like speedsters.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm at least going to make Golden Freddy, like in his physical form, he's not much faster than one of those old granny wheelchairs.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I'd put him a little bit faster.
Yeah, okay.
That's just me.
Alright. But like in his poltergeist form, it'd be more like a near instant transmission kind of thing.
Yeah, he does. Like, he does that in the movie, he does that in the books, and in some cases the games, but not as much.
But here's the thing, though. He has to be in his physical form to attack and hurt you, right?
Kinda. Like I said, he works like a poltergeist.
Yeah, poltergeists have to take physical form if they want to hurt you with anything aside from other objects around you.
Mm-hmm. Which, I guess it's possible Golden Freddy could do that too, but like you said, he'd have to be in a physical form.
So if he's in a physical form when he makes contact with me, that gives me pretty much all the advantage because I can move faster than a outdated Chuck E. Cheese animatronic. I know I can move faster than that.
Yeah. Which, by the way, like, the movie explains Cassidy's powers, or Golden Freddy's powers, a lot better.
Yeah. So, again, complete the salt circle, keep Golden Freddy occupied, and then just, since the salt circle is also part of the exorcist circle, he'd be exorcised as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's even if he's outside while I'm making it.
Yeah. Which, I think I have an idea how we could do that. How we can get him distracted to stay in the circle.
How?
We have Michael be the distraction. Because it's canon that the reason why the animatronics attack the security guard is because Michael has an uncanny resemblance to William. It's to the point where they're commonly mistaken to be the same person.
Alright, so it's like, Golden Freddy!
Yeah. So, like, all he'd have to do is look at Michael, and I don't think it's unreasonable for him to think it's William.
Alright. Now, I want to kind of imagine that if I shoot them in the head, that kind of would kill them with a holy bullet.
Yeah. I don't think that would work.
But
even if you were able to do that, I'm not sure if it'd be enough holy water, because the remnant is just too powerful.
But in any case, it's like, even if his remnant is strong, the fact that I would be using, like, I wouldn't be alone, okay? The priest would be on the other side of the building helping as well, especially after I show him the whole shit.
Yeah, which, then we gotta make sure that William doesn't kill him. Because this is William. If he sees the priest there, he's gonna go over to him and kill him.
Yeah, but he won't be in the Springtrap suit.
Even without the Springtrap suit, William can kill people.
Yeah.
Maybe not as efficiently, but...
Yeah, but you'd be there with a fucking sniper rifle.
That is true. Yes.
We planned this shit out, okay? This was a 3-hour conversation condensed into a 40-minute video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 40-minute video. I feel like this had to be like a 40-minute thing.
This had to be, because William is just a complicated character. Where I know your love for swords, but William's the kind of villain that you can't just cut him and kill him.
I'm very much aware of that. That's why I'm not stupid enough to believe that I could cut an animatronic in half with a sword, unless that animatronic was made of completely paper mache and bamboo.
Yeah, which I'm not saying that at all.
Yeah. But the whole thing that sparked this was that he told me I couldn't figure out a way to kill this fucker.
Yeah, and he took that as a challenge.
Right?
I genuinely thought William was truly unkillable.
Until I started. See, there's a difference between me and Geekapedea. He's much more of a defensive thinker, and I'm much more offensive.
Yeah, I like to think immediately, okay, how do I get myself out of this situation? How do I think?
And then you have me where it's like, don't think, act!
Yeah. Which, now that I think about it, I feel like William is more of a defensive thinker. Because, remember when I told you he's pretty much like, he's like Batman where he comes up with a lot of contingency plans?
Batman is actually more offensive and defensive.
So William might be a slight mixture of both as well. Now, at least when he's in the Springlock suit.
Yeah, in the spring. But when he's human, I really much think William is the kind of guy that, and this is basically a plot device in a lot of animes and movies where the villain will send all these different goons and monsters and machines after the hero that's trying to stop them.
And that's what he does in the movie.
But at the end of the day, defensive thinkers can only go so far. They don't have, and this is nothing against you, Geekapedea, but you don't have the mindset to think, how do I kill? You're very much a captive thinker.
Yeah.
Well, I'm much more of a, how do I kill this thing?
Yeah.
And that's the stark difference. And when you and me think together, we basically come up with shit like this.
Yeah. Fuse us together, like the fusion dance or the Pataras, and we would be a genius.
Oh, hell, we'd be dangerous.
Yeah.
Now, not to say that I don't think defensively as well, because you've seen some of the shit I've come up with for defenses in some of our conversations.
Yeah.
But I'm much more offensive in my way of thinking. And offensive.
Offensive in both combat and words.
Exactly.
Which I could see that with you fighting Afton. Like, the first thing you would do is try to offend him.
I'd call him it's like, hey, yo, you pussy-ass bitch. Send these fucking robots after me, pussy-ass bitch. Don't get no hose and trash-ass bitch.
He's like, you think I'm that naive? Look at me. I am the greatest genius the world has ever seen. I have not only created the greatest, most amazing children's restaurants, but I also discovered the secret to immortality.
Yeah, greatest robotic pedophile that never got no hose. I mean, did you have to pay the woman you had your children with to have sex with you, or was it more of a, a little bit of a dungeon thing?
I'll have you know, she was impressed with my intellect.
Impressed with your intellect, but not with your dick.
He's like, you want to say that again to my face?
Sure. But I know you're too much of a pussy-ass, trash-ass motherfucking bitch to come out here.
He's like, do you not know all the things I've done?
You realize I don't give a fuck and you can suck my dick?
And he's like, all the lives I've taken, all the horrible crimes I've done, you pale in comparison to
blah, 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 blah. Do you just like hearing yourself talk, or are you just some narcissistic prick that has a micro penis?
Actually, side note, he does. He's very egotistical. That's one of his weaknesses.
It's like, so much for your great robots. Bitch, I took those fuckers apart in about 5 minutes. I can take your ass apart.
It's like, how did you defeat them?
Simple. You sent children up against a fucking killer.
And he's like, well, let's see which of the two of us is more of a killer.
Alright. But you have to come out, you little bitch.
And he does. He just walks out, and you have like a 8 feet tall rabbit.
I was like,
which you definitely have the height against you.
yeah, I was like, oh, someone's compensating you, Easter Bunny fuck ass. Okay, do you want? I was gonna say, the gay convention's 2 doors over.
And he's like, I'm not here for conversation. I'm here to watch you suffer like the rest. You can fight against me. All the others did. But it won't matter.
Then he goes charging at me, I just pull out an Aquafina bottle.
What have you done?
Like, some fucking super genius doesn't even waterproof his fucking suit.
Then he just starts spring locking.
And I was like, I go on him on like, you owned a fucking pizzeria, a kid's restaurant, a restaurant that serves soda, pizza, and greasy, wet shit on the daily, and you never thought of waterproofing your motherfucking suit? You fucking dumb ass bitch ass cunt ass no ass having no fuck giving no hoe getting bitch.
And he's like, the spring-locked suits were my greatest creation.
Yeah,
Not even Henry could replicate them.
Yeah, fucking greatest creation gets beaten by a fucking Ice Mountain bottle.
He's like, it doesn't matter. I know what these suits do when someone dies within them.
I was like,
I always come back.
and then it's like, motherfucker, do you not realize that I only aimed for your arms and legs for a specific reason?
What did you say?
You're still alive, dumb fuck.
Oh crap, you're right. And the spring locks have only affected my arm.
Your arms and legs, bitch.
No, this can't be.
Oh, it be, motherfucker. And now I'm going to... And now, I whip out this. It's like, let's see here. The manual to your suit. It's amazing the photographic memory your son possesses.
Then Michael walks out. It's like, Michael.
Like,
you dare betray your own father.
I was like, oh, he does, bitch. He dare.
And Michael's like, are you serious, Father? Look at what you've done to me. My brother, my sister, they're dead because of your creations. And look at me, I'm a walking corpse because you sent me to die.
I was like, now let's see here. Twist that, disengage that, and...
And Michael's like, CT, you must be quick when you remove the suit.
And then it's like, bet. How long do I have? It's like, you only have 60 seconds before, once you deactivate the main spring lock in the neck.
Mm-hmm. When you have 60 seconds to get the thing off of him before they automatically activate.
And I managed to do it with like a second to spare.
Yeah. And William's like, this is impossible. I am William Afton.
You are dead, bitch. And I just stab him through the head.
Then his last words would be, Michael.
It was like, then at the end of the movie, we all get together. It's like, so what you gonna do now, Mike?
And Michael's like, this is going to sound weird, but I'm probably gonna find a way to die.
Pow your neck.
He's like, you would do that for me?
I would. But before I do, you sure you want to do this?
Ever since I went down to my father's bunker, I was scooped by the animatronics and used as their vessel. I'm a walking purple corpse. I can't die naturally or from old age anymore. I'm in pain and agony every moment of my life. I haven't slept in 5 years.
Alright, enough said.
Thank you, CT.
Do it, preacher. And he blesses the sword, and it's like, I'll make this painless.
Then Michael dies.
And the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise comes to an end.
Until security breach.
Like, I was like, this turned out to be a fucking 50-minute video.
Okay, wait. That begs the question. Now that we've got William dead, how do we beat the Mimic? Because without William, the Mimic is automatically less powerful. Because most of his thing was copying William.
I was gonna say, just upload a virus.
That's the thing, though. The Mimic is a virus.
Yeah, upload a virus, even worse. Firewall that bitch.
Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. If it's that easy, how come nobody in the FNAF universe has done that?
Because it's not very entertaining to just create a worse virus.
Yeah. Like, Vanessa in Security Breach. She knew he was getting more powerful through the audio tapes that she was making. So you want to know what she did? She made more audio tapes.
Here's the thing, though. To outdo a virus, you need to create an even stronger virus than the previous one. It's a computer virus and a real-life virus are the same thing in that regard. So if you want to make a virus that can outperform the other one, you'll need what's called the source code. The very first line of code, the main line of code in a computer virus. You take that and you create a secondary virus that attacks the source code. And it just starts to destroy the source code from within. Also, firewalls. Right? Those stop viruses in their tracks. So you figure out a way to get the AI onto one main server, firewall that bitch up, and upload the antivirus.
Yeah.
And the reason no one's done that is because it doesn't exactly make for a good story.
It would be disentertaining.
It'd be over too quickly, especially since I don't think the AI as a virus is very strong to begin with.
As itself, it wasn't, but after it read the code of literally the world and the entire history of the restaurant, it became a super genius.
Yeah, but is it like infecting every device on the planet?
No, but everything related to Fazbear Entertainment it is.
So all you really have to do is just destroy the building itself and the computers in the building.
Or at the very least, delete the AI.
Or just destroy the computers.
But his power goes up beyond the computers. Like, he has control of the animatronics. He's basically running the entire company by himself.
Yeah, that's what I said. Just destroy the main server. You destroy him.
Not necessarily, because he still has copies.
BJ, there's even the main server is where those copies are also stored. He keeps the copies on the other computers in the if it's just one computer in the entire FNAF store, just destroy that. You've basically destroyed his body, his heart. And then, even if he did download himself into one of the animatronics, it's not like it's possessed by a soul anymore. You can just grenade that bitch. And boom.
Dang.
If you use common sense thinking, the story ends pretty quickly.
How come nobody has done this in the universe?
Because A, it's a horror movie shit, because no one ever makes good decisions or rational thought in a horror movie. And B, it's not as entertaining as, oh no, we can't stop this virus. What are we going to do? The animatronics are attacking. It's not as action-packed or as exciting as just destroy the fucking computer and nuke the shit.
Yeah, just bomb it.
Yeah. I was like, that one moment when I was just going on that whole rant and you looked at me like, damn.
What?
Remember when I was going on that whole rant trying to get our version of William out?
Yeah.
I was like,
look, this guy's nuts. And William's like, I'm William Afton, and I think this guy's crazy.
Pretty much. But yeah, the reason no one's done that with the AI in the show is exactly what I said. It just would end. They're trying to continue it, and it would just basically be like 5 chapters in, and we're done.
Yeah, and they just released the 10th game like a couple weeks ago.
Now, what I could see them doing... Now, another reason is that in order to create an antivirus, you need someone that is capable of coding. And they need to have the time to write the code for the antivirus and set up the firewall traps. So that could be another reason. Like, just no one is smart enough to. There's no one smart enough in the immediate area to write such a virus.
Yeah, but then again, like, the company at this point is like extremely profitable again. So couldn't they just like hire a genius?
Well, there's that, but it's also more cost effective to have an AI run all the shit that you don't need a human to necessarily run. So it's more of a, we're saving money by having this AI, even if it's a little bit sketchy.
Yeah, and it's mimicking a serial killer.
So, plus, company lawyers and everything else will be like, we had no idea what this was happening, we plead the fifth, no nothing, destroy all evidence.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and by the way, there's Elvis. The recent MatPat video on Game Theory, he theorizes that there might actually be two mimics. The physical mimic that's in the basement of the pizzeria, and the second mimic, which is Glitchtrap, the AI.
Alright.
So the AI is a lot more intelligent, whereas the physical mimic, all that really knows how to do is kill everything that moves. Because it's copying Afton.
Yeah. But with that in mind, this has turned into an almost hour-long video.
Yeah, we should probably not end this.
Yeah. Like, this is what happens when me and him get together.
Well, alrighty. So, long story short, Afton's crazy. We could take him.
Pretty much. If you really think about it, boil it down to common sense and fight arcane arts with arcane arts, he's not as powerful as you think. And even if you were to bring in like a Wiccan, like, for those of you who don't know, my aunt, she practices the Wiccan beliefs. And Wiccans are actually witches that do good. They heal, they create medicines, they protect people.
That's cool.
Unlike your standard witch. They're basically good witches.
Yeah.
So, if you can't get the priest, use Wiccan. They channel the powers of good spirits and shit. But yeah, fight arcane arts with arcane arts. Keep him from being in the suit. And honestly, I feel like you are making his narcissistic ego more difficult to trigger than it needed to be. Because if he's that self-absorbed into himself, any insult is really going to set him off.
I didn't mean to exaggerate, but he is that self-centered.
Exactly.
Like, he loves himself so much.
Just me calling him a stupid-ass bitch would have probably been enough to send him off.
Yeah. Well, he might be a little bit self-controlled, but once you keep doing it and you, like, prove yourself that, hey, I'm better than you, then he'd go nuts.
I'm better than you and you ain't gonna impress me.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, fight arcane arts with arcane arts. Keep him from getting in the suit in the first place. And if all else fails, nuke him.
Yes. Nuke him. Surely Afton can't come back from that. But knowing Afton, he probably will.
He can't come back if his body's been atomized.
To be fair, that happened in FNAF 6. And now we have the Mimic.
The Mimic can't come back if it doesn't have any copies of itself on any server within the next mile.
Surely some idiot's gonna copy him. Even then, this is William. We probably will have to drag him down to hell ourselves.
Pretty much. So, until next time, I know we'll band of outlaws. Outlaw Samurai tells all y'all, be crazy rednecks, be safe and use your weapons, and...
This has been Geekapedea. Thank you so much for having me on here. Remember, God loves you and I love you too. And we'll see you guys next time.
We're out. Peace.